wife, Karna, been married for 18 years. Between the two of us, we have hers, mine, and ours. We've got 5 kids. My oldest, I have 2 daughters, 30 and 22. I've got a stepson that's 23, a stepdaughter that's 21, and then we have a 17-year-old together.
How did you get connected with Arette and the lessons we have and all that?
So I like to tell people I met you probably 25 years ago, but I didn't get to know you until about the year 2000. So I subscribed to the Eagle Zine. I was an early member in the Bronze Eagle Gold Coaching. It was the self-directed plan, and I remember sharing emails with Betty, what I was working on, how it was helping me, and I wrote a couple recommendations for how it was working for me. Mm-hmm. But back in early 2000, 2002, 3, 4, really started to try to apply the materials, and then as your programs grew and changed and into Arette, I just always anticipated that next email address, that next website, that next content. And so that's how I got started.
So then something happened last spring.
Yeah.
Fairly significant.
Well, 2 years ago, those of you who I met, our company, sitting here following, the remarkable story. So, thinking about what we're grateful for and thankful for and how we take things for granted. But, I was 32 years into a career, and we went through this huge reorganization, and I was looking at leaving. I really tried to apply what I'd learned and using just everything that you've always shared from Jim Rohn and just the motivational things that whether you're riding a bike, walking a path, or anything you're doing for personal recreation, if you fill your mind with the right ideas, good things can happen. So, I just decided to swing hard, and I went for a promotion rather than taking the package, and I got this promotion. And, I ended up getting one of 6 jobs in the country. I supported 13 states in the Northeast. I had 250 team members, 4,000 customers, and a whole lot on my plate. And so the Arette, or the summit was in February of 2016. I took the job right around, Christmas, so I'd been in it for 2 months. And, I talked with Roger on a one-on-one call, and, he told him what I had going on, and he recommended a book, and I still have to tell him how that book helped me. But so fast forward to June, 5 months ago, that role ended up becoming probably the worst job I ever had. And it highlighted for me just so many more things that were just poking at the back of my head around what's my purpose, what am I here to do, what am I going to accomplish by trying to win over everybody's approval that this is going to work. And went through a lot of soul searching, and I quit that job on June 1st.
Cold turkey.
Cold turkey.
Took a trip.
Yeah.
Tell them about the trip.
Well, I like to ride motorcycles. I'd never been to Sturgis, and Sturgis was coming. So anybody who rides, and you've tried to tell your wife for 10 years, I'm going to go to Sturgis next summer, you're always told, yeah, not really. So it never really happens. So I looked for a little sympathy, and I said I was going to go to Sturgis. She said, when is it? I said, it's the first week of August, so I've got some time to plan for it. So in the meantime, we have 2 daughters. My daughter and my stepdaughter are both at Ball State together, and they're both seniors. My daughter's in natural resources. So she started to accumulate camping gear, and she's emailing me, and I'm looking at things on Google for her, and she bought a backpack, she bought a tent, she bought boots, and she had nowhere to go. So we were sitting at my house. It was late in June, and I said, I'm going to go to Sturgis on that motorcycle. And she goes, can I follow you in my car? And I go, well, why would you want to do that? And she said, because all my friends are doing something out west, and I'm stuck in Muncie, Indiana. And I think Roger knows what that might feel like. So,
I used to work at Ball State. I know.
So, I said, well, that would be, I politely said no. but I thought about it all night. And the next day I called her and I said, "You're working at the Brew Hub in Muncie. Can your boss give you a month off?" And she said, "Sure." And I said, "You want to go with me?" And she said, "Yeah." So she took a month off work. We hopped in her car and we went to 5 national parks in 3 weeks. And we camped and hiked and backpacked everywhere we went. So I stayed in one hotel in transition on the way out, one hotel in transition on the way back. And it was all tents and mountains and sky. And it was fabulous.
Now what?
I don't know. I don't know.
What education do you have?
So I've got a business degree from Indiana Wesleyan. I went to school while I worked. And, you know, I told my wife's a school teacher. She teaches 3rd grade. I said, you know, we've been married 18 years. What if I just take the whole summer off? And we've never been able to do that before. And then when you go back to school, I'll find a job. She goes, "That sounds pretty good, but I don't really know if I want to spend the whole summer with you." And I said, "Well, just spend as much as you want, but if we got this agreement, I don't have to wake up every day with you wondering what I'm doing." And so when I came back from Colorado, it was August 14th. She had already started teaching again. Everyone was back in school, and she was just like, "All right, now what?" So in the last month, I'd say in September, I really tried to focus on those areas of my life that I knew I was weak in. You know, the emotional piece, the spiritual, and I knew if I just went out and got another corporate job right away, I was going to make a mistake. So I found a fantastic church. I joined the Rotary with some great neighbors and friends. I'm getting involved in, well, fitness is always, now that I have some time, I'm focusing on fitness as well. So I'm really trying to make that wheel roll steady. And I'm blessed that I had the financial support between, leaving and some point in the near future where I could do something. But, when I talked to Tom 3 weeks ago, he said, "Send me an email, send me those goals. Send me what you want to do in 6 years, 18 months, and 90 days. And I called him and I said, "I'd send you a 14-page email." He said, "Well, the record's 18. So I said, "You know what, Tom? I'm not there yet. I've got my goals from a year ago. I've got my actions from 6 months ago." I said, "But right now I'm just searching." And so you guys are the most passionate group of people you can ever put in one room. There's so much inspiration here that I said I'm going to Memphis. And here I am. So I'm going to spend 2.5 days with this group and just continue to try to figure out where that God wink's going to come in, what I need to do for the second half of my life.
How old are you?
But I jumped off that treadmill. I am 52 years old.
52. In the passion world, what do you love? What do you enjoy doing?
Helping people. Helping people. And I think the material that Jim shared this morning, the engagement needs. I worked for an $11 billion company. We had 21,000 employees. We spent millions of dollars on material and content to drive engagement. And when I used to listen to Jimmy talk at the Red conferences in St. Louis about, the number of disengaged team members, I knew how much work we were doing. And I guess I just took for granted that not every company has the resources, the size, or capacity to do that kind of work. Take those surveys and give team members feedback. And so I'm pretty passionate about that. And I've been talking with Gary Baker about some of the work that he's got going on with the Barry Wehmiller organization. So that strikes a nerve for me. And I think I can, that was the most important thing for me when I was leaving Grainger was, am I continuing to make a difference in the lives of the 250 people I support? Am I sending them home, helping them feel like the company that they work for cares about them? And so, I'm confident my decision didn't change, their direction in their careers, but, that's a piece for me.
Nancy, has he written a book yet?
When would you like to start?
You got to write a book. Neil, where's your book?
That's the book waiting to happen right there.
So anyhow, here's your assignment at your table. If you were Dan Shire, what would you do at age 52 and had a passion to make a difference in other people's lives, had a career in corporate America, basically?
Yeah.
Family's getting close to empty nest.
Yep.
You have a question?
Yeah.
Sean?
How
helping people is a pretty broad statement. So, and how do you want to help people? Or how do you feel that you're called to
Yeah,
help people?
that's a great question. I think any work that I do where I'm making a positive influence in the lives of the people I interact with. You talked about being a thumbs up influence on a daily basis rather than a thumbs down. So if I practice the discipline in how I carry myself, whether I work for another organization or whether I'm volunteering for an organization, I just want to be a positive influence using the experiences that I've had in life and the passion that I have for just having a great day. I know it's still broad, but I experimented with real estate from 2002 to 2010, probably the worst time to ever go out and buy 4 rental houses and try to flip them. I enjoyed that work though. I enjoyed that process, and I had 17 families that lived in our houses, and 4 of those families eventually bought those homes. So they got what they needed. I got what I needed. It didn't necessarily turn out at the timeline I thought that it would, but I still know how good it felt to watch that family move in that house, whether they were renting it from me or buying it from me. So I have a passion for that as well. Less experience, but that's how I think I'd like to just have a positive impact in people's lives.
So you got 15 minutes to, if you were him, what would you do? I'll ask him to come around table to table. If you have a clarification question you want clarified more, he'll come to your table and answer that question. But this is a very real world, a very real challenge, but with lots of opportunity.
Wow,
Also.
I'm blessed for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So have at it. You're on the job.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Okay.
And she said, oh, well, then thank you for your book. And he said, no, I didn't. She said, so do I get to start? I said, I think it should be about 5:45. If they want to go there. But they need to know that they might not get seated for an hour. Everybody will just kind of, when Tommy was going to alert the people, and I said it a little bit before. Okay, before you do that, what do we do with these, with leftovers of these?
Better late than never. You can go anytime. They're coming up to get their tickets. They're going to eat over. Huh? Yeah. All right, let me have your attention a minute. Let me have your attention for a minute. I'm going to wrap up here. Your reporter, give any thoughts, comments you have to Dan, or talk to him privately. So, one of the things I want you to do is, everybody up! Woohoo!
Well, I beat the drum and hold on. The sun
somebody to put you in, Coach, right? Get into the life and make life great things that happen like Neely's doing. Your breakfast coupons in your name tag. Breakfast anytime that the place is open. We'll start here at 8:30, and we've got some more great things tomorrow. God bless you. Those of you, Terry, where's Terry? Terry's got an announcement to make. Hang on.
What do you want us to do with these, with our discussion?
Give me, Dan.
Yes.
Just so everybody's clear, the Itabena BB King's is loose. Tommy was, just generous to say, hey, we'll try to accommodate. I just don't want anybody to be disappointed. You may have to wait. Nobody has reservations. It's not a special roped off area because we didn't know who's going where or anything. So it's just kind of an open thing. He said for Itabena, if you're there before 6, it shouldn't be any trouble accommodating everyone in a timely fashion, so, pretty quickly to get seated. Tom, Mickey, Marie, and myself are leaving from the valet entrance doors at 5:45. If anybody wants to walk over with us, you're most welcome to, but we're going to leave from there at 5:45 and walk over. The people that signed up for that, Tommy asked me, actually, I turned in the sheet to him. I don't think they're going to be checking off names, but I turned in the sheet. And on the BB Kings, he said there weren't enough hands raised, that it was an issue, that just show up there, and he thought that with that number that it would be easy to accommodate. I'm sure if you didn't get on the Itabena, I think, if you didn't get on the Itabena sheet and you want to go over there, I'm sure that will be perfectly fine. They're going to do their best to take care of everybody. Okay?
The Rhodes College brochure that ended up on your table. One of our Hills Angels is a graduate of there. Several of his family members. It's right here in Memphis. It's just FYI. God bless you. Have a great evening.
My grandfather built that.
Really? Jim's grandfather built it.